and improve to what? Skip, what's the standard now? I remember your team used to be judged by championships. And now improvement is how they're judged. Let that sink in. America's team, the most valuable sports team in all the world, are judged by improvements, not championships, not an NFC title game. Improvement? And they say, well, Dak got hurt last year. The other 24 years that you have not reached the NFC title game, and the other 24 years in which you've never won more than 2 playoff games. What happened then? Skip, your guys, your money is tied up in a lot of big names, the guys that haven't lived up to the financial obligation that Jerry gave them. You look at your big dog, like you said, Dak gets this franchise tag, 6, 7 players, eating up 75% of your cap. You can't win like that. You guys have underachieved, but at some point in time, Skip, we got to stop saying this is one of the most talented teams, and they're poised for a deep run. A deep run to what? So instead of being 4-12 this year, what? You're hoping for 8-8? You're hoping for 9-7? I mean, what's the? I need more pro football focus. Tell me the Dallas Cowboys are going to be super. Because when I look at this, are the Cowboys better than the Bucs, Packers, Rams? Right now, no. So only the Cowboys get to improve, and then they can make a deep run. So what about the 49ers? They get their health back. What about Seattle, the Saints? Miss me with the Cowboys. The Cowboys, only a name only, Skip. But even, you know what? Eventually, even Skip Bayless going to hop off this train once he sees it's not going anywhere.
Shannon Sharp, that sound you just heard was me hopping off the train. For once, you got me. You have backed me up against the wall. You have taken me to school, to the cleaners. You have taken my soul on this topic because, yeah, a year ago, I was bullish on my Dallas Cowboys. They had added all these free agents on defense. They had like 10 free agent signees. And I thought, they've got to be better on defense, and they're going to be great on offense with Dak and 3 receivers who could all go over 1,000 yards. And an offensive line that I thought with Ty Smith and Zach Martin and no. Hurt. So I have gone officially from bullish to looking at my team as a whole bunch of bull dinky. It's a bunch of bull dinky. I cannot see it because I am doomed and damned with the Dak Prescott impasse, contractual stalemate.
Yes.
There's no win here for me. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm with you. I'm pretty sure it's going to be damned if you do, where you go ahead and tag him. So that's $38 million you're going to pay him. That will count 21% of the salary cap. Then, as I detailed a little bit for you earlier, DeMarcus Lawrence next year will count 12% of the cap. Then here we go down the list. Zeke will count 7%. And Amari counts 10%, Zach Martin 8%, Ty Smith 7%. I'll add all those guys up, Lyle Collins and Jalen Smith. They add up to a grand total of 55%, and that's only 6 more players. So to your point that you just reiterated, 7 players will count 76% of my salary cap. And how are you going to fix the defense that ranked 28th in points allowed and 31st in rush yards allowed? 28th in points, 31st in rush yards. They were pathetic. For half the year, 2/3 of the year, they were historically bad trying to stop the run. And Shannon,
yes.
All of a sudden, look at all the free agents on defense. Maybe this is a good thing, but here's some of the free agents on defense that they will not be able to keep. Ty Crawford, Sean Lee, Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods, Antoine Woods, Joe Thomas. These are all, some are pretty decent players on a bad defense.
Yeah.
Well, again,
right.
It's so bad right now that if you put the tag on Dak, it feels like you're going to have to play with 10 players on defense. You can't play with 11 because they won't be able to pay 11 players. Maybe you get away with playing 10 or 9 players on defense because you can't afford the other 2. And again, you got the 10th overall pick in the draft. Pro Football Focus says it's Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. I haven't watched him enough, that cornerback. They say he's just extraordinarily gifted. I have watched Patrick Surtain. That's the way I would go, tried and true. His father was a very good player. So whatever. So you get the other cornerback opposite Trevon Diggs, who was a little bit of a revelation. He was great and bad, but he was often very good. And
he can be really good.
He can be. But, you know, you still have Randy Gregory, but then I didn't even mention Aldon Smith. Are you going to be able to afford him? Because he was a revelation. He was a godsend last year. I told you in the offseason, I thought after 5 years out of football, I thought he could play. Our man Jay Glazer said, trust me, he can play. He's been a monster in the weight room, and he was often a monster on the field. He was I'm not saying he was great, but he was very good. Well, he's a free agent. Can they afford him? I don't know how to even keep Aldon Smith. So Shannon, where is it heading? How much better can the defense be with another rookie at corner and a second-year player at corner? It can't be much better. And if Dak is tagged, there's bad blood between Dak and Jerry that trickles down into the locker room, where it doesn't feel right. It feels like, you know, Dak's making a lot of money, but he's not happy. He knows he might be one and done more. You know, this might be the end of the line. One more year in Dallas, and he's hitting the free agent market. Well, how can I sell that?
Right.
And Shannon, how can I sell that Ty Smith and Zach Martin are going to bounce back and live up to their deals? They have huge deals, you know, 8 years, 98 million, 6 years, 84 million. They count huge against the cap. Well, they're only 30 years old, both of them, but will they be healthy next year? I doubt it, because 30. Their history would tell you they won't be able to stay healthy. Ty played 2 games last year. Zach made it through 10, but he missed 6 big games and obviously missed down the stretch. I can't sell it. I can't see it. I can't feel it anymore. It feels doomed to me, and it starts with the impasse between owner and quarterback that has gone into that bad blood realm where it just doesn't feel right, and I can't figure a way to fix it, because I don't think Jerry is going to go into that close to Patrick Mahomes realm to make Dak happy, because I think he sees that he overpaid too many other players at a much less level, and that he can't risk getting stuck with an overpaid quarterback the way the Eagles and Rams did with the top quarterbacks in that Dak draft. So you got me, Shannon.
Well, the problem that he has, Skip, is that the guys that he paid, the offensive line, they played really well. But, Skip, they got a lot of collisions on those bodies. Ty Smith and Zach Martin, Skip, they ran the ball. They were as good as advertised. I believe probably both of those guys are going to end up in Canton. But what has happened is that the other guys that he paid the money to hadn't fulfilled the obligation. Zeke hasn't lived up to $15 million.
No.
DeMarcus Lawrence has not even come close to making the Pro Bowl.
Agreed.
Jalen Smith has not been that guy since he got the big deal.
No.
Amari Cooper has the highest paid receiver, Skip, and you got to go probably 9, 10 receivers before I would take Amari Cooper. So while you got Dak could pop wanting $40 million, the guys that you've already paid are not living up to what you thought they would be.
Yep.
So there's your problem. You're talking about a problem that you might have with Dak. Well, he might not live up to that. Well, you already know the guys that you paid on defense aren't living up to those contracts, and the offensive line that you gave the money to, they did. But, Skip, you know once they start going into your back as an offensive lineman, you're not going to be the same. And Ty Smith, what? He played 2 games last year. He missed 5 or 6 the year before that.
He did.
3 or 4 the year before that.
He did.
You start seeing these injuries start coming with greater regularity, and they start keeping him down for longer periods of time.
Okay.
So they got the work cut out for them.
So, Shannon, Pro Football